Cool. All right. So today we are going to review your resume,
Hmm.
and let's take a look at the resume. So would you say you have conformed this as best you could to the week 2 training so far?
I believe so.
Okay.
I used Pages when editing it because it just takes more space in Word.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it
I'm not
might be.
I'm not so sure about. Okay. So what I like to do is I like to make, so this looks good. It's going over onto 2 pages. So eventually what we're going to have to do is bring this down to 1 page,
Yeah,
but that's okay. Um,
I'm like 4 lines over Pages on my end.
all right. So let's see, we are at 11 point font. Good. I'm just liking to take in some things here. This is, maybe necessary, maybe not. We can take a look at whether we want to keep this in there.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to try to do is, clear this up if I can. Like I want to play with this, and we can add it back in later if we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to just try to see if we can do without it for the
Okay.
moment,
Okay.
and see. Your heart might be breaking, saying, "Oh no, don't take that out, my sophomore distinction." But don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to discount that. I'm just trying to think about like, okay, like what are employers gonna be focusing on?
Yeah.
So what I don't see here is a professional summary. So what I want to see at the beginning um, of a resume is a professional summary.
Okay.
The thing that you say you do. So you are and we can take, literally any kind of phrase that you like, that you think is really strong, and put it in there. This is kind of interesting. I kind of like this guy's profile here, so we could just play with this
Yeah.
as an example, just to get the conversation going. So hold on here. I want you to be Times New Roman. Okay. All right. So enthusiastic, detail-oriented, and highly focused. Let's see, I would say that's okay. Those are a lot of adjectives there. I would say, results-oriented is probably enough. Enthusiastic, results-oriented. And then I'd say, we could start just, we could just start with, and you want to do management consulting, right?
Yeah.
Now, where did you end up in terms of finding out who was accepting applications now, by the way? Because
Oh,
yeah, for next summer.
I haven't checked yet.
Okay. So is it possible that you're missing some deadlines right now?
I'm not sure.
Put that on your list of things to do,
Okay.
next to the 100 other things to do. Is where, and this could be as simple as contacting your career services office
Mm-hmm.
and the person who is in charge of consulting at Wesleyan. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. Enthusiastic, results-oriented, aspiring management consultant. Skilled in, can do this, highly skilled in multitasking, will adapt to rapidly changing, fast-paced environments. Strong communicator with desire to learn new skills. It's fine for now. And then the qualities. So what are the qualities that would be valuable? to somebody. This should come from your research, right? So the research that you've been doing with your 20 calls, right, should have produced something in terms of the key qualities that these firms are looking for. Did you have any that came to mind based on your research?
Being proactive.
Okay.
Strong communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
Team player.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Self-driven.
Yep. And then, probably having financial modeling would be good. So you might not have that yet, but you can get that. I would say, learning some Excel best practices would be a good thing to do.
Okay.
And then getting some accounting experience as well. So I would look to develop those traits as well. And then case management. So if you're working on cases, you can have case management in there as one of your qualities. All right, education. Wesleyan, Bachelor of Arts, May 2021. University of St. Andrews, study abroad, Harvard Business School online. And then are these the names? Is this the name of the program, Harvard Business School Online?
It's just a school. The program name is CORE.
Because what I might just do is just say Harvard University. And then have the program. You could say an online program, or you might see what the best practice is for phrasing that. You could say it's online, but I'm not sure you have to. Is it a program administered by Harvard University?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people knows what it is.
Mm-hmm. So is it understood that if you wrote Harvard University Core Credential of Readiness, that would be okay?
Yeah, but I think it's administered by Harvard Business School Online. That's a separate program from the university.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's supposed to be online. It's not like
understood. That's fine.
Only online this year.
Yeah. Okay. What I tend to do is I like to, if you're okay with, if you're whatever you're comfortable with is the way to go. So this study abroad experience is okay, but it takes up a lot of space, right? So the question is, do we have space for this? And is this something that employers care about? Yes, maybe, I'm not sure. But it comes down to how important is our real estate on our resume. And so if you had to choose between these two, which would you choose?
I'm going to choose Harvard, but I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the professional summaries obviously take a lot of space, and I'm just wondering what.
It's not absolutely necessary.
Yeah. It's like everybody knows that people are gonna talk good about themselves, and if it were me, I would just skip that part because like my judgment of you won't be dependent on your description of yourself. It's my person.
The idea is what's the reason for looking further on the resume? Why would I continue to read? And just because someone went to Wesleyan or Harvard wouldn't necessarily be a reason to continue to read down the resume. So that's kind of what we talk about when we talk about so there's two concepts here. One is you being comfortable with the product. So you need to feel comfortable with the resume you're sending out. And if you feel strongly about not having the professional summary, that's okay. The other is having a reason for the employer to read down the bottom of the resume. Now we're assuming here that it's a cold application and you have no referrals, and you just have only the words on the resume to try to get them to want to continue to read down. And so what is it that's going to make them, pop out and want to read more? And if you go like this route, then there's nothing that talks about consulting or your interest in consulting. Okay? Mm-hmm. And that's the traditional way that the schools will have you write your resume, is like this. And okay, we can go with this if you like. So what I'll do is I will make a draft of this, which is with professional summary. And then we can look at a draft that is without, and that's fine too. So I think having 3 work experiences might be a bit much, or sorry, education experiences could be a bit much for a resume. You could have your study abroad experience be part of your education at Wesleyan, something like this, where you kind of bring it in, you bring it all here, something like this, and and then figure out some text that would fit into that area. For now, we can leave it as it is. I'm okay with that. Okay. But we do need to fit this all on one page. So, and where we are now is that it's going over. So let's see here, professional experience. So okay, I'm okay with the way this is formatted. It's fine. I would say brand strategy, summer fellow, triptych, New York. Participated in advertising boot camp to learn advertising marketing strategy.
One thing is that although the firm is based in New York, this program is fully online. Do I need to specify that?
Not necessarily. I think it's okay to do it, not specify it. I think pretty much everyone's going to assume anything done in July in the summer of 2020 is going to be online anyway. Okay. Participate in advertising boot camp to learn advertising and marketing strategy, learn about consumer culture and how to develop commercially driven, culturally attuned brand strategies. Okay, great. In this program that you have, I guess you've started now. Yeah. Are you working on any projects?
No, okay. Unfortunately.
Okay. Brand strategy summer fellow. You might ask them if there's a project that you could do.
This program was supposed to be an internship where we actually work on cases, but I got cut short into this fellowship where we don't. So
well, I would go ahead and ask them. I mean, this is your life and your resume. So I understand that there are some things that happened, and I also want you to be able to put something on here which has some results, if possible.
Yeah, I wonder as well, but like they kind of just told us that there won't be any cases. I could still ask though.
Yeah, you should ask. You should at least ask.
Okay.
Did you pay some money to participate in this?
No.
Okay. So I would ask, and I would explain why. Say, hey, I would love to be able to work on a project to support my resume credentials through my fellowship. Is there any way that I could do that? Even if I did it independently on my own and showed it to you for review, would that be possible? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I want to take a look at something real quick, because what I'm not seeing here is the results by action taken format that I love to see in the resume, and I'm just wondering, was that a problem for you or a challenge?
You mean for this experience, or
just for the resume overall? What we like to do is
I thought I already did it.
Okay, yeah, maybe you did make a draft of that, and that's what this looks like. Just confirm. So what, take a look here. Because what I'm seeing here is, I think one of the challenges, that one thing that I'm seeing here is that in the, just in terms of your progress in completing week 2 marketing yourself, you haven't touched the overview. You did, I guess, kind of finish how to prepare a great resume. You didn't complete the checklist. You didn't even really kind of finish the core training on how to build up your resume bullet points. You kind of watched half of it, didn't read. So what, kind of what my expectation for doing this one-on-one is basically that you would have completed, really taken the time to complete week 2 in the trainings, and gone through all of that to the best of your ability. As you can see here, you're probably really busy, right? So the timing might not be the best. I mean, what I'm suggesting here is we can work on this today, but going forward, what I would prefer you do in terms of completing this resume, if you're going to show it to me again, is to really take the time to invest in your resume by watching this training.
Okay.
Because what you're showing me doesn't reflect the place from which I prefer to start to work on the resume. So we need to have, support Democratic women running for office, okay, by drawing fundraising plans and coordinating fundraising events. So for an example might be coordinating a fundraising event. So helped operationalize or helped launch fundraising event with 600 women in attendance, raising $100,000 by, and then thing that you did. So this isn't the thing that you did. This isn't even an action that you took. This is just kind of a very high level description of what you did. How did you support, basically?
Yeah.
So result by action taken is the format that you want to develop for this bullet point. What is the action taken? Well, the form of support that you had. How did you specifically support? Handing out flyers. And what specifically did you do? And then the result, right? For example, might be supported. Let's see, helped launch fundraiser ended by 600 raising, which raised $10,000 by, and then the action that you took, whatever that is. Okay. So it would be something along these lines, specific. And if you had watched that video, you'd probably have a better handle on the idea there. The other here is results. So what were the results? Okay, whatever those were, by, and then action taken. And here you have improve the performance of marketing emails by analyzing data. Okay, what does that mean specifically? So action taken is by analyzing data. How did you analyze it? So results, the improved performance. This is where you need to actually roll up your sleeves a little bit and do some work. How did you improve the performance? If you're not sure, speak to somebody on your team, which would maybe who would have a better idea. Do you have a feeling for how you improved performance of the marketing emails?
We sort of compared the performance of different emails and just analyze what could be different that made one email better than others.
Uh-huh. So how would you define the improvement in performance?
Increasing open rates.
Okay, by how much?
I need to find the data for it.
Okay, so increased email open rates, 20%, by and then improving the performance by improving the improving the copywriting on a sequence of 20 emails sent to 3,000 potential voters. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Good job on what you got so far. This is what you've got here is it's a good start. So we're just going to build on that.
Okay.
Course assistant, Department of Government, Wesleyan University. So the Department of Government, is that what they call it?
They call it the government department.
Okay, so call it what it's called. But I would just say Wesleyan University. I don't think you need to add this extra. You've been a course assistant. You don't have to go. I mean, you could specifically use the course name if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But what is, Wesleyan University is just fine from my perspective. You are a course assistant at Wesleyan University. Assist students on coursework and academic writing by providing one-on-one ME shops. ME, what is?
Oh, sorry. I don't know why that happened.
Again, results by action taken. So the action taken, would be what the assistance that you delivered. Was there any result from what happened? So improved, and you might have to stretch here. You maybe don't know, but improved writing course outcomes. Is there a way to measure the improvement on the academic writing?
Not really, because students just send their paper drafts for me to review before they hand them in.
Okay. So is there improved writing outcomes for 30 students by action taken, which could be hosting 5 academic writing workshops. So that's just, maybe that's the best we can do, and that's it. But we're trying to get some metrics in there, and just to be clear about what we were doing, and then improve the learning experience by providing professor with feedback on students' progress. And so you would say something like, so the result, was there any result that you can think of from that? Like the professor was able to do something better or faster, or the process? Did you provide feedback in a way that was new, or developed a process for that did not exist before?
I don't know if it counts, but he sort of changed the syllabus based on what students can take.
Okay. Was that related then to the feedback somehow on the learning experience? Was that connected to that in some way?
Probably. I don't know. He would just ask for my opinion before he made any changes to the syllabus. And I think my role is just to provide the viewpoint of a student.
Okay, so help improve results. Improve course syllabus. Helped implement syllabus. How many students did that impact?
15 students.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. By providing feedback on students' work to fine. And I think that's going to be just one step better than where we are. I mean, you're talking about school experiences, so we can't talk about always talking about dollar figures or things like that. So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So again, something there to look at. Marketing campaigns enter National Trust for Historic Preservation. Okay. Built, launched, and promoted online crowdfunding campaign. Okay, to preserve the childhood home of Nina Simone. And then, right, okay. Raised, okay, so, okay. So that's gonna be a result. So we're gonna go result, and we're gonna say something along these lines. We can look at that again in a second. By, and then action taken, which will be by building, by launching, building and launching. Launching includes promoting, let's just say. Building and launching. Building and launching. Crowdfunding is online, so that would be duplicating. Building and launching crowdfunding campaign. Viewed by, maybe you have a number, people. And then raised. Raised. To see, exceeded. This one's fun. And exceeded this by 132%. Raised to support, to preserve childhood home of prominent civil rights singer by building and launching over reviewed by X people. Okay. And then I would just leave it at that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So result by action taken. And then we just, if there's any detail somewhere that we can easily fit in, we just add that as a phrase or a sentence phrase at the end. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Increased funds raised by 3% by conducting market research on target audience. So I'm just gonna, yes, understood, target audience and strategizing campaign improvements. Is it strategizing or implementing or, yeah, I'm gonna just say implementing because you can't really strategize on customer feedback. You probably could, but implementing campaign improvements based on customer feedback. So we still have perk. And I would say you could leave that in, you could leave this in here, in there or not. If it fits, fine. On the page. Or you could just take it off because that would just be kind of extra information that they could ask you about in your interview. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is just an example to show how I implemented the improvements because yeah, when the people at Chris interviewed my resume, they told me to be detailed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I would leave that in there, and instead of putting in parentheses, I would, again, the real estate's pretty valuable. So either sometimes the detail is something that comes out in the interview, or you have it on there. Okay. So research experience conducted, Department of Economics, Wesleyan, and I guess I wouldn't bold that. If you're going to bold something, I would bold probably the titles.
Okay.
Because you want people to look at that. You don't want to draw the eye to Department of Economics. That doesn't support your candidacy to draw your eye to that. And then let's see here. Conduct research on China's institutional infrastructure that supports socialist market economy. So there has to have been some sort of result of this research work that you did. Did you publish a paper or collect bibliographies of, or organize the bibliography or something?
Yeah, organize a bibliography.
Right, so maybe you could go back and try to figure out what that is.
Okay.
Because this is all good, but we need a results, whatever that result is, result, and then result, like compiled bibliography of 500 sources, for example, right? By action taken. And then, because no one really, I mean, the people that you're talking to aren't going to be so focused on China's infrastructure. The results, which would be something like compiled with 500 entries, uh, and then what was that for? Why were you doing those bibliography? Was that to support a publication or?
Yeah, the professor's writing a research paper on it.
Okay. Was it published?
Not yet.
Okay, to support academic publication by, and then how did you compile the bibliography?
I sort of wrote summaries of the papers and articles the professor asked me to read.
Okay. Compiling, I'm going to reverse these and call the result the assisted supported academic paper publication. Okay?
Yeah.
By the action taken, compiling bibliography with 500 entries. And then, was the paper submitted?
No.
Okay. All right. And then supported academic paper publication. And then if you needed to, I don't think it's that necessary to actually get into the content of what that publication was.
Okay.
Are you okay with that?
Sure.
I mean, if you were talking about working for a company that, how about infrastructure, institutional, supported academic publication, we don't need to say paper, academic publication, examining institutional Chinese institutions or institutional institutional support for, what was it called, socialist policies?
Like the intersection between its socialist future and its market economic policies.
Okay, fine. And then you could see see how that goes and get the detail. I think we've kind of covered that. Let's see what happened here. Supported academic publication, examining overlap of Chinese socialist and free market policies by compiling bibliography with 500 entries. Okay. And analyzed Chinese economic trajectory and policies such as Belt and Road Initiative and presented findings of weekly meetings. That's fine too. I mean, this could all be part of one bullet point too. So analyzed and presented findings at weekly meetings. So we can see how that goes. You could have that bullet point there. It's fine. Leadership activities, intern TEDx Wesleyan, plan and promote conference for 100 attendees and recruit guest speakers through correspondence. So maybe you have some results of that. So maybe you had you're still doing that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe increased participation, right? This is something you did by 30% by facilitating, I would say, facilitating production by organizing. I would say by organizing, because that could be everything, the first student speaker competition.
Yeah.
All right. Conducted, and then here we're researcher, so another leadership activity. Researcher for business plan. I would say maybe just say business plan researcher. Researcher. Brazilian Refugee Project. Conducted research on local housing, transport, and language schools to help resettle 3 North Korean refugee families. Led cooperation. Yeah, this is cool. This could all be one bullet point. I mean, it doesn't have to be in Middleton, Connecticut. It could just be help resettle three North Korean families. Doesn't have to necessarily be, you don't have to say refugee again because you said it above. It's part of the refugee project. So that'll save you some space. Research on and local, just housing, doesn't have to be local, on housing and language in schools, land transport in schools, to help resettle, okay, lead cooperation with partner colleges. I mean, Yale, doesn't matter if it's Yale or not, including Yale, who cares? To develop cross-college refugees resettlement, develop cross-college refugee settlement projects to develop, okay. Skills and interests, cool. Awards and honors. Might be tempted to bring those up to the top actually under your experience there. And now what I think we can do is, let's see here. So now we can play with this, but if I remove, I know this is super significant to you, you just completed it and it's awesome. My friend works at St. Andrews. If I take that off, I can't really even yet fit that onto one page. If I, now there's some stuff that will be revised here and removed. Intern, increase participation 30% by organizing the first student speaker competition. Plan and promote conference for 100 plus. Doesn't have to have attendees in it, that's understood, and recruit guest speakers. Through correspondence is understood. You have to correspond to do that. Increased participation 30% by organizing. So that's getting better, but it's still kind of long. Planned, promoted, plan and promote, I mean, promoting, executing, delivered, produced, conference, produce, conferences, actually it's multiple conferences, right?
Yeah.
400 plus and recruit guest speakers. Increased participation, increased attendance, increased organizing first, organizing student speaker competition, organizing student speaker competition, conferences, and what was that? And recruit guest speakers. I mean, that's nice. That's good. Produce conferences, increased attendance, raised attendance, boosted attendance, 30% by launching student speaker competition, produced TEDx, With guest speakers, boosted attendance 30% by launching and recruited speakers. And for 100 and recruited speakers, boosted attendance 30% by launching student competition. Something, another synonym, turnout, boosted turnout, increased, boosted, looking for a shorter word, improved, lifted, raised, attendance, raised turnout, grew turnout, by launching student speaker series, student competition. I'm just going to call that student competition or speaking competition, speech competition. I think that would be enough. It doesn't have to be student, it'll be understood. So that'll give us a line back. Researched. Here, I would say instead of conducted research, researched housing, transport, and schools to help resettle 3 North Korean families, led cooperation with partner colleges to develop cross-college refugee settlement. So we're getting closer there. Why don't we stop for now and let you go back and work on the wording that you like?
Okay.
And then we can take another look at this and see if we can get it all onto one page.
Yeah.
And if you want to introduce St. Andrews back in there, that's fine. But this definitely has to be on one page.
Yeah.
And so we just want to work on the economy of words that helps us get there.
Okay.
Well, you did a great job.
Thanks.
And good job showing up and caring enough to schedule this time to do it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm glad to see you're making progress. And I want you to make sure that you're communicating with me where you want to be so that we keep getting you there. And I think you're doing a great job attending the events. Your attendance, just by listening, it's just great. Hopefully you're getting something out of those weekly meetings.
Yeah.
I know that it helps. It just inspires me to see you there. Just to see you there, it inspires me to do a better job.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so we will leave it at that for now. You go back, make some edits, see if you can get it onto one page. We've already gone to the limit with the margins. That's the one thing. So if I can come back here and move the margins, I could probably get around by move this a little bit to a 0.1, and I think we can get back some space by doing this. Do you see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
I think we can gain some space on the document like that. Sorry, I'm losing some of the formatting in terms of the color, but I think you know what I'm doing. And then, so I think that'll help. That'll give us a little bit of space back. We're getting close. Let's just see where this goes. I think you're going to have, you have a nice resume coming together. I would say, I would call this experience instead of professional experience, because unless all of these roles were paying you, if some of these were not paid roles, just call it experience.
Okay.
Okay? Call that experience. Or you can call that work, and you can call that professional and other experience, but strictly speaking, professional experience, people are expecting that you were paid for those roles. And then if we had to tweak this, like we could bring this spacing here potentially and reduce it some. What I mean by spacing, I mean the space here could possibly be shortened if we needed to. But I wouldn't want to get any slimmer on the margins. Okay. And then in
Okay.
terms of the things that are bold, I think if you wanted to bold something and you were eager to do that, I would bold, I think bolding something is okay. I would say bold these terms.
Okay.
And not the company names.
Yeah.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm just gonna do that real quick myself. All right. And then if you, and I think it's helpful also to just go with a little bit less is more here. So just taking the shortened versions of the months somehow to me just gives you a little bit more space on the paper. The reason why the text becomes easier to read is if there's more white space around it. So if we can go in there and get more white space back, that is good. So August becomes Aug, July becomes JUL, August Aug. And then I think, yeah, that's coming together nicely. All right, so I will save this without professional summary. Word edits. All right, so I'll save that and then I'll send it to you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Good work. You're
That's
welcome.
really helpful.
Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.